Today, I'm stepping off the trails and into the city for a brand new adventure. I'll be running the Plymouth Cooperative Way. It's a route practically on my doorstep that I've never explored before, and I can't wait to share the history, the sights and the journey with you. Let's see what hidden gems Plymouth has in store. Hi, I'm Shauna, this is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel where I make videos for regular runners showing the raw unfiltered journey. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Shauna's World.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
So I believe I'm at the start of the Plymouth Cooperative Way, although I don't see a sign and I don't see any indication that there is a trail here. For info, the Plymouth Cooperative Way is approximately half marathon distance, the circular, supposedly fully waymarked route connecting Plymouth's green spaces and nature reserves. It was created in the year 2000 in partnership with Plymouth City Council to commemorate 140 years since the formation of the Plymouth and West Devon Cooperative Society. So I'm just going to start at a bit of a walk, get running when I feel ready. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety this week and it's been really hard just to get to the start line, so I'm just taking it easy to start with until my nervous system feels a bit more regulated, and then I'll get running. But in the meantime, I can tell you a bit about the Plymouth and West Devon Cooperative Society that this trail was created in honour of. So the society started in 1859 when times were hard and people were hungry, and 10 Plymouth tradesmen decided they had had enough. So back then, in times of extreme poverty, it was normal for people going into shops to be ripped off. So the scales were skewed so that people would get less for their money, milk was watered down, old meat was sold, tobacco was diluted with kind of other dried plants and herbs, and these 10 tradesmen decided they were going to do something about it. They were inspired by the first cooperative movement that was started in Rochdale and laid out a certain set of principles that are still followed by the cooperative movement to this day. So those are democratic control, one person, one vote, sharing profits based on purchases, sound working conditions and membership education. And the collective started to grow from the original 10, and they each contributed funds into a kitty until they were able to rent a room and start a grocery business together. The members sold the stock back to themselves, making a little bit of profit each time, and they put some of the profit aside quarterly for education, and then the rest of the profit was split between them. And this way of doing business obviously resonated because it started to grow, and soon there was a co-op, butcher, bakery, fuel, mortgages, and in 1894 a large store was opened in Plymouth, but sadly that was destroyed in the Blitz in 1941. So that's a whistle-stop tour of the history and why the route was created to celebrate that movement all those years ago. And yeah, the council just thought to make this amazing route that links up all the green spaces in the city so people could enjoy it. So the Cooperative Way starts at Central Park, which I think I'm just leaving now. And this spot is home to Plymouth Argyle's football ground, home park, and also the Life Centre, which is an amazing aquatic centre and fitness centre where Tom Daley and Tonya Crouch trained for the 2012 Olympics. So there's been a little bit around Central Park, then over the main A road, and now going down a little footpath. We're just moving through pretty residential streets at the moment. Okay, so far feeling all right, better than I expected. My breathing's not great. I've been having a lot of breathing problems with my run recently. I think partly asthma based and partly anxiety based, and I am feeling anxious, but I am kind of coping okay, and I feel like filming is giving me a good distraction and I'm just kind of enjoying it. Hey sweetie. Oh, it's okay. Okay, I better run. So this is the first time I've actually clocked the Cooperative Way signs, but there they are. Okay, I think maybe I go in here? No, I think it actually was straight on. It looked like lovely woods. I know the next place I'd flagged is Ham Woods, and I imagine this must be it, or the kind of entrance to it. There's all kinds of trees around me. So I've really only just come off the main road and I feel like I'm right away from everything here. Okay, I was not super prepared for mud and trails, but here we are. I'm wearing road shoes. Gorgeous. So yeah, this is Ham Woods. Over that bridge took me into Ham Woods, and here is home to 200 plant species and 80 bird species. And as someone who works for a plants and fungi charity, it's pretty cool. I wish I could spend a bit more time investigating, but I am enjoying moving along at a pace. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, it was right off the bridge, not left. Ah, I see the way marker there. Cooperative Way. Oh. Bit slippy. I don't know if I'd known it was going to be like this if I would have worn trail shoes, because a lot of it is on pavements and roads, so I think I'll reserve judgment until the end. Okay, I'm out the side of the woods and on a road now, but I did see a Cooperative Way arrow going this way. So far, I would just say people passing by in Plymouth are so friendly. I've had so much encouragement. Just got some high fives from kids, got a thumbs up from some guy I was walking past, and I never get that in Totnes. I mean, it's probably a sign there's more people around here, but yeah, it's really encouraging. Back in the residential streets. So this is Woodlands Fort. Plymouth, being a port town, has a bunch of these forts around, and this is one of the smaller ones, but it actually cost £28,000 to build back in the day in the 1800s, and then got sold in the early 1900s for £600. Cooperative Way, still on track. We are just over 6 kilometres in, going very slowly, trying to get all the history as I go and the nature, but yeah, settling into it. So this woods I'm coming through now, I believe, is actually named Woodlands Woods, and I think they've been doing a lot to focus on accessibility, and I think that's really good for a city-based woodland, making sure people from all walks of life can access nature spaces in the city. Okay, it looks like we're coming up and out of the woodlands into another residential area, up a little hill. It's been moderately hilly, like inclines, but not ridiculous, but a few bits I've struggled to run on. I'm coming up now to Crown Hill Fort, and I think the route takes me kind of on a loop around the fort. So there's the moat. So this fort, Crown Hill Fort, is much bigger than the last one we saw, and it's actually open to the public on the last Friday of every month, and on those open days you can see cannons being fired and get tours of the underground tunnels. Pretty cool. This is actually very cool. I'm not a massive history person, so I'd never just come here anyway to visit as a kind of a tourist event, but it's really cool to be doing a run that comes here because it is very awe-inspiring. I think I'm on the wrong side. I can actually get closer to the moat, so I'm just going over a stile. Oh, very muddy here. Okay, we are out the other side. That's a loop of the Crown Hill Fort. And back out onto the main road to go search out the next green space. This route really juxtaposes some of the nicest, quietest, most lovely woodland spots with busy motorways. Just spotted a 24-hour Starbucks, so I'm going to take a detour to use the toilet. Hopefully they won't mind me using the facilities and not buying anything, and if they do I will buy an espresso and knock it back immediately. That was very straightforward, no one gave me a hard time for going in, there was no queue for the toilet, I was in and out, didn't buy anything, and now I'm back out again. Very efficient. So I'm just over halfway through, I've just gone over 11k and it's about 21k, and I'm going really slow, but I'm having a good time, and that was actually something I wasn't sure if it was going to happen because I've been so stressed and so anxious. Now there's a gate here, I don't see a Cooperative Way sign, but I think this must be where I'm going. Oh yeah, because that says Birchen Valley Nature Reserve, and I know I'm supposed to be passing that, so that is a good sign. Once again, trail shoes might have been wise. I believe that is a rubbed away cooperative trail sign. That is a good sign because I haven't seen one in a while, because we've been coming through the more built up road bits and they just aren't really signposted like that. Maybe the railings have seen better days. Once again, I've gone wrong and erroneously gone over that little bridge, and I think I wasn't supposed to go over that bridge. So yeah, this woodland that I'm coming through now is Bircham Valley, and it's a bit of a bonkers spot because it's absolutely stunning as a woodland, really beautiful, and if you were just looking at certain angles you could be in the middle of nowhere. But right on the left of where I'm running is Derriford Hospital, massive hospital. I think it's actually the biggest building in the southwest. I can hear helicopters, I can hear the road. Yeah, I mean, you can probably hear those helicopters now. So on one hand it feels really peaceful and rural, and on the other hand you're in the middle of the hub of everything, just you happen to be in a woodland. And just to reiterate the point I made about kind of the noise of the hospital and the peace of the woods, I had that really loud helicopter going overhead, then that was gone, and then all I could hear was a woodpecker, a really loud woodpecker, and it's just, yeah, it's really weird. There we go, Cooperative Way. Yes, we love a wildflower meadow. Obviously not the right time of year for wildflowers, but working in plant and fungi charity and not being very knowledgeable, I have learned that yellow rattle is very good. Here it says it promotes rich, diverse meadows by suppressing thuggish grasses that outcompete our native wildflowers. And it was good, I spotted that before I read it. I just remembered I have not been fueling. I've had one gel about 45 minutes in and I haven't had a single other, and it's just because I forgot. I think where I've been doing shorter runs and treadmill runs over winter, I haven't been in the habit of regularly refueling, and I suddenly got really hungry and I was like, oh, that is not good. But I am gonna neck a gel. Not sure how far along I am, probably about 12-13k now, going for my 40 gram of carbs gel, try and catch up a bit on having forgotten to fuel. So as much as I'm having a good time on this run, I think my feelings are a little bit mixed, in that this was originally supposed to be my kind of challenge to end winter training. So over winter I've been focusing on my speed and strength a lot more, not really been doing distance, doing a lot of tempo runs, a lot of treadmill stuff, a lot of strength training, and hoping to get fitter and stronger. And my coach suggested putting something in the diary that was like a faster paced thing, like a half marathon. So I had a challenge for the end of winter training before I get into ultra training again, and I couldn't find a race that felt aligned or was a good location, and I found this route which is about half marathon distance, and I thought I'll do it kind of as if it's a race. I'll really push as hard as I can, I'm going to treat it like a race. And then as it got closer I just wasn't excited. I was feeling very anxious about it, I got very apathetic about it, and when it came down to it, it was hard enough even to get to the start at all, let alone really pushing and running hard. So I decided I was just gonna do it at my own pace, have fun, film, make it a nice day out, and not treat it like a speed challenge, which I'm definitely glad I did. I'm enjoying it a lot more, I think, but also in some ways it feels like a little bit of a failure. And we're back out of the lovely nature spot at yet another motorway. Okay, back off the road again through the mud, and as I approached that last busy road and then kind of came back into this park, it really made me feel like this trail is such a metaphor for life and the mental states we move through, because that whole thing of this too shall pass, and regardless of what you have, whether you're feeling really happy and at peace or you're feeling absolutely terrible, it always ends eventually and something else comes along. And on this run it's very much, oh no, another A road, this is rubbish. But then I know ahead of that A road a nature space is coming, and then I enjoy that nature space, but while I'm there I know it's not forever, and another motorway is going to come along and ruin my fun, but that's okay because it's all temporary. I feel like that's the reminder I needed today, and that this trail is really showing me what I needed to see. I've had a very wobbly week emotionally, and it's just a reminder it's all temporary. This pond stream is absolutely gorgeous. What have we got here? We've got a sign. Oh, it's about the nature. We have otters, mayflies, mayfly larvae, dippers. Okay, I've just passed the 15k mark, which means I'm over 2/3 of the way through. Nearly there. And feeling pretty good. Which way is it? This way, I think. Okay, I faffed for quite a long time trying to find this path. I kept going down different paths and being like, why do I keep getting beeped at and I'm going the wrong way? And I did not spot these steps. Okay, this path appears to be a bit of a stream, and that sofa seems to have had better days. Oh no, feet are wet. Great. Am I even on the right path? I don't think I'm even on the right path. I'm not on the right path. My watch just beeped at me. Okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. It was meant to be a 21-kilometre route, but it never is what it says, especially because I always go wrong a bit. So it says I'm at 17.5k in, but I have about 5 and a bit kilometres left to go, so maybe it'll be around 22.5 kilometres. Honestly, the children of Plymouth are absolutely lovely. I just went the wrong way and ended up just in this kind of little cavern where there was no through path, and there was a group of kids kind of clearly getting up to no good, quite young kids, and I came round and they looked a bit shocked, and then they just offered to help me with directions. And it was really lovely, and I think kids in general get such a bad rap, but I've seen so many kids and teenagers out playing and hanging out with their friends here, and they've all been absolutely lovely. So here we have a very nice view. Okay, I'm coming up through Hollycroft Woods, which is owned by the Woodland Trust and has around 5,000 young trees. There are a few places on the route I'd marked to kind of stop at or acknowledge. One of them is Liam Tunnel and the other is Austin Fort, and I kind of missed them. I am less than 4 kilometres from the end, so, you know, slowly, oh, mud, stop. Okay, I thought I was going to fall over. Oh, my feet are now very wet. Okay. Well, this is not what you want like 75% of the way into the run, but good hill training, good mountain training. Oh yes, that's the first one I've seen in a little while. Wild garlic coming up already, coming out of the woods into residential area again. All the daffodils are out. So I think this is Thorn Park, and I've heard about a famous urinal that is here that I'm keeping an eye out for.
Well, I never did spot the famous urinal, but just some background. It's a one-man cast-iron Victorian-era pissoir from 1893, hidden in the park's bushes. It was designed by George Jennings, who supplied conveniences for the 1851 Great Exhibition in London, where 827,000 people paid a penny each to use his loos. Hence the phrase, to spend a penny.
We have a nice bit of sunset. I've only got about 2 kilometres to go, and we still have a fair bit of daylight. Right, I'm very nearly there, past the half marathon mark, and I've got about 1.25 kilometres to the end of the route. I've mostly been so lucky with the weather today. It's been a glorious sunny day after, you know, all the rain we've been having at the start of January and February, and now it's just started raining about 3/4 of a kilometre from the end. I did it, back where I started. Home Park is here. I feel good. It wasn't the easiest, but I had fun and I did it my own way. It wasn't fast, but it was done. I'm grateful and I'm glad. I have a bit of a walk back to the train station and then have to get on a replacement bus. I'm just so glad there's not a home game on at Home Park this week, because it is a Saturday and I didn't actually check the schedule to see if it would clash, and I was just kind of on the bus here crossing my fingers. So typically after completing my run and over 3.5-ish hours of moving, I now have a very tight time to catch the next replacement bus, and I really don't want to miss it because it's quite a long wait till the next one. So I'm kind of running / scurrying to get to the train station. There is nothing that brings me more joy than a pizza after a big run. So I'm going to tuck into that, refuel, reflect on the run I've just done.
My reflections on the Plymouth Cooperative Way. Firstly, I definitely recommend it if you're local to Plymouth. Plymouth is my closest city, but I'm rarely drawn to visiting. But this was a really good reason to visit specially and see some new places. From what I hear from others, Plymouth isn't really a city a lot of people rave about, but I was blown away by just how many nature spaces and beautiful corners there are in that city. Being a city trail, I was expecting the nature spaces to be more of the kind of city park type vibes, but some of those woodlands and nature reserves were every bit as stunning as those you might see in way more remote places. And although I haven't done the maths or worked it out officially, I feel like I spent a lot more of the time on muddy trails than I did on roads. So that brings me to shoes. I mentioned that I wore road shoes, and not only road shoes, but shiny ones that I don't use that often and I use on the treadmill and in the gym because they're always nice and clean. But there is a lot of road along the trail, so are trail shoes really the best? So my verdict on this is that I would have worn trail shoes if I'd known what it was like, but I wouldn't have worn my best trail shoes. I'd have worn some old ones where they're kind of maybe already a bit worn down, because it wasn't like gnarly trails where you need thick lugs, it was just a bit muddy. So I'd have worn old trail shoes that have a bit more grip than road shoes and are a bit more trail appropriate, but I wouldn't want to be wearing down my really good trail shoes with all the paved running. But I did go at the end of winter when we just had months of rain and it was particularly muddy, and it might be that if you go and do this trail later in the year that road shoes would be fine. But yeah, an amazing trail and an amazing day out, and I would say the Cooperative Way isn't exactly a trail I'd necessarily travel far and wide from if I didn't live nearby. But as a local, a short bus ride away, it was such a good day out. And yes, there were a bunch of ugly, busy roads. That is the nature of a city trail, but there was also so much magic in it. I will also say I couldn't find any videos on the trail when I was looking before I did it, and not really a lot in the way of blog posts, so I think we should give this trail a bit more love, as well as getting to enjoy all the woodlands and rivers and nature reserves. I love that it was a bit of a platform to learn about the Plymouth and West Devon Cooperative Society and some of the history around the town, the forts and stuff like that. So thank you, Plymouth, for welcoming me with open arms, and thank you so much to all of you for watching the video and coming along on the journey. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. For more running videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!